Hey guys, it's Steve Lawson here. Welcome to this video, and today what I wanted to do is to show you a quick demonstration of a brand new recruiting method that we're going to be introducing into the Internet Lifestyle Network. And so for those people that are looking at potentially getting involved with this business, or maybe you've just come across this video and you're wondering what it's all about, I'm going to show you something very unique and hopefully of interest. So stick around, and if you can bear with me, we're going to go through this process on a step-by-step basis, and I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing in the Internet Lifestyle Network, which is really cool. To do that, what I want to do is show you the reason why we're going to be introducing this system, and you know, the reason why it's going to be so important that you understand why this is going to be great and why this is going to really benefit you guys. So first of all, I'm going to explain to you that one of the problems that we get within this industry, I'm going to try and demonstrate it by this sort of simple diagram. So you imagine you've got a person involved in a particular networking business, and let's give this person a name. Let's call him Joe, okay? Now, Joe is a really good recruiter. He's an experienced network marketer. He's very successful. He's got a steady stream of people coming into his business all the time. But there is an issue with that, because in order to make a real impact within this kind of industry and this business, it's no good just having a few people that are making all the money and being and having all the success. So we need to be able to encourage much more depth within our business. We need to be able to see that everyone can make some money from this, so that it makes it worthwhile. Because what you don't want is a constant turnover of people coming in and then leaving, and it's just a kind of grind and a churning effect. So we want to try and find a solution to that issue. Now, going back to the board, what we find is we've got Joe here, and like I said before, he's a really great recruiter. And what you'll find is you'll have a line that kind of goes like this. You'll have lots of people, okay, under him. All right, so he's going to have all these people that he's recruited into his business. Okay, and so Joe's got a big smile on his face because he's making money. But what we don't know behind the scenes is that Joe is really stressed, and he's really overworked, because he's having to constantly recruiting all the time, and he's having to constantly kind of look after all of these people, okay? And it's taking up all of his time, and he's finding it difficult. And of course, these people along here, some of them might be, introducing other people into the business and, growing their business, but others, they may not be doing anything at all. They might be really struggling. They might not be able to actually sustain the business long enough for them to actually bring people on, bring people into their business. And the reason for that is that a lot of people that get involved with the kind of network marketing, internet, online marketing world, is that they're looking for a kind of get-rich-quick system. They're looking to make quick money. They're looking for a solution. And of course, this business is not really about that. It's a long-term business. But going back to the board, these people aren't making any money. So what's happening is they're dropping out. Okay, they're sort of, this person's disappearing, or maybe this one disappears, and maybe this one, and so there's this constant turnover. And this is a problem to Joe, and it's also not just a problem to Joe, but it's a problem to the company as well, because the company can't survive based on one or two people at the top making all of the money and then having this constant turnover. It's just not going to be a sustainable long-term business. So something needed to be done. And fortunately for us, there's a person that's come into the Internet Lifestyle Network who had a tremendous background in networking. He's been involved with other companies, and he had a particular solution to this issue. And I'm going to try and demonstrate that for you now. Okay, you imagine if we had a system that we could implement that would help every new person getting involved in the business. It would actually help them to recruit at least 2 people into their business, which would, in most cases, cover any initial setup costs or startup costs that are involved in a networking business. Now, obviously, as I'm in the Internet Lifestyle Network, there's a couple of things that I want to point out to you. Within the compensation plan, okay, when you recruit somebody in directly underneath you, you're going to get 50% of the commission back to you. Okay, so in other words, if you could recruit 2 people, then you're going to actually cover the cost of your initial outgoing fees. So, of course, what that means is if you can, cover your costs, it takes away the time pressure. It takes away the, the worry that if you're not recruiting quickly enough, that you're going to basically be spending out money, not getting anything back, and then you're going to start to think about this, and the negativity starts to creep in, and you start to think, well, I haven't recruited anybody in 2 months, and no one's coming into my business, and I'm spending all this money out, and I'm not getting anything back, and that's of course the tipping point, and then people just leave the business, and then they give up on their dream. And we don't want that to happen. We want people to be able to, not have that worry, not have that kind of stress in their life. So with this system, which I'm now going to explain, and it's called the Cyber Swarm, which is an interesting name, but it's actually a very, very good title for the analogy that I'm going to show you. So this Cyber Swarm system is basically going to consist of building 2 individual legs for each person that comes into the business. And I'm going to try and describe that on this board. Okay, so we're going to start off with, let's say we're going to start off with me. Okay, so here I am, Steve, happy smiley face, loving my internet business. Okay, now I'm going to start this Cyber Swarm off. Okay, so I'm going to start this concept. So how am I going to do it? What I'm going to do is the next person that I recruit into my business. Okay, well, obviously, here he is. This is Joe. Okay, Joe's come on board. He's happy. He likes the business. He understands the concept, and he wants to get started and making money. And so I'm now thinking to myself, right? Okay, I want to implement the Cyber Swarm method. So what I'm going to do is my very next person that I bring into the business, because I might be that top recruiter. I might be that person that finds it easy to bring people on board. But what I'm going to do is, instead of giving that person to me and signing them up on my link, okay, now that's not going to happen. What we're going to do is we're going to sign up this person and give them to Joe. Okay, so Joe, and maybe this is, let's give her a little house. This may be Jane. Okay, so Jane has been brought into the business. So that was Jane. So I brought Jane in, but I've given Jane to Joe. Okay, so now they're linked. All right. I've used Joe's affiliate link, okay, and Jane is signed up under Joe's affiliate link. So now Joe is going to get paid that commission for when Jane gets on board. So you can start to see where we're going with this. Right, okay, let's just clear that off for a minute. Right, so Joe is delighted because Jane's involved in the business. He's got his first recruit, okay, and that's got him excited, and he's thinking, right, I need to get the next one. And I'm now still actively promoting, and I get somebody else who's interested in joining the business. So what am I going to do? Am I going to give this person to me again? Am I going to, link that person directly? Well, the answer to that is no, I'm not going to do that, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to give that next person to Jane, because I want to see Jane succeed. I want to see Jane be successful, okay? So what will happen is this person here is now going to move down here directly under Jane, and we're going to call this person Fred. So Fred's come on board. Fred is now directly affiliated to Jane. Okay, so Jane's happy, all right? Joe's happy. I'm happy because I'm building up a team. And we're going to go into that a little bit later, and I'll explain how this is going to help me out, okay, because of the compensation plan with ILN. Right. Okay, so you can see the building down of this business. Rather than going across and me signing up lots of people and having this turnover, what I'm doing is I'm building down. I'm building some strength, some depth into my actual business, which is really, really awesome. So am I going to stop with Fred? Well, the answer to that is no, I'm not. I'm going to keep going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to 5 levels, okay? And this is how this method is going to be utilized, okay? We're going to go down 5 levels. So next person that comes in, okay, is going to be, let's say, Tracy. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go for our 5th person, okay, which is going to be Paul. You can see that. So Tracy is affiliated to Fred. Paul is affiliated to Tracy. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting. Right, what we're going to do now is, because everybody's been obviously recruiting and trying to help everybody else bring these people on board, we've got to come to a position where we now need to build that second leg for everybody. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to now work on building Joe's second leg. Okay, all right, because obviously Joe's got his first leg going with Jane. Okay, Jane's obviously got her first leg, but I don't want to get too in depth with this. I don't want to make it too complicated. But what we're going to do now is work on Joe's second leg. All right, so what's going to happen next is, as these people are all actively out there looking for people, okay, now the first person to come in to this group is now going to go back up to Joe. All right, it's not going to go directly under Paul at this stage. It's going to go back up to Joe. So Joe, okay, I should make that a bit different. Joe is now going to start his second leg. My pen's running out, bear with me a second. Okay, hopefully this pen will work. Okay, we'll go black now. All right, so here we are with Martha. Right, so we haven't forgotten about Paul, by the way. But what we've done is, when we get to the 5th level, okay, we're going to, and that 5th level is, you know, basically underneath me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get to that 5th level. Martha is now going to be Joe's second leg. All right, so now Joe has got a second leg developing, and what that also means is that second leg, all right, is going to actually mean that his entire cost of setup is now covered, so he can relax. Right, there's no more worrying about, you know, he's paying out more than he's getting back in. In fact, he's actually into profit once you get your 2 people on board, okay, and that's because of the ILN compensation setup. So, right, what we're going to now look at is how we're going to get Paul introduced into this, you know, get his business. Right, so where we are now is that we want to now start to think about Paul getting his next recruit in. So we're now going to draw a line underneath Joe. Joe started his second leg, okay, and what we want to do now is for Jane to be able to get her second leg. But Jane is not going to be able to start her second leg until Paul has got somebody on board, because it's got to come down in these levels of 5, okay? So what's going to happen is Joe is kind of drop out of this process for the time being, and these guys now are all going to work towards getting Paul his next person, okay, down here. Once Paul's got his first person on board, Jane is now able to get start her second leg. So the very next person that comes in, all right, so the next person that comes in as if it was going to be Paul, it's now going to go up to Jane. So Jane can now start her second leg, okay? And of course, obviously now we want to bring this person in down the bottom here, but we can't do that until obviously Jane's got her second leg, but now she has, we can. And of course, this is how it's going to go. So every time this moves down, we're going to draw a line under the next person, and they're now going to focus on helping this person build his team. And so these are going to continue on going down, and that's what it'll do. It will drive the business downwards instead of across. And of course, this is going to help everybody develop their teams much, much more easily. So I'm hoping you're getting this. Now, of course, once this is all taking place, I'm now in a position where I can set up a brand new leg and go through the whole process. And of course, this will happen as we keep going. So I'm going to bring in somebody else who's going to be directly affiliated under me. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to be helping this person here. You know, that might be Jill. Call this Jill. I'm going to be helping Jill, and Joe's going to be helping Jill to bring on that next person. And so that's how it's going to kind of work. It's going to be very much a team effort. I hope this is kind of, you know, I hope you can actually see the power of this. And of course, you know, it can seem a little bit complicated, and perhaps I am making it more complicated than it should be, but I'm hoping that you're realizing the potential of this, that when people are working together as a team and they're focusing on that and helping each other, it's going to grow that business down, and it's going to mean that there's depth. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the reason why this works specifically well in the ILN compensation plan, is that because we are getting paid down to 5 levels, after the first level, which in this case would be Joe, I get 50% of Joe's commission, but I'm also going to be getting 10% on Jane, going to be getting 10% on Fred, 10% on Tracy, 10% on Paul, and of course as they build, I'm going to be getting, you know, 10% on that one, and so you can see how it can all magnify and how your commissions can quickly build. So that's kind of the basic idea of the CyberSwarm. I hope you've understood it. I hope I've been able to demonstrate the power of this. It's a, you know, it's a bit of a dodgy sketch that I've done here, but hopefully you can see it okay. I'm going to put this video out on YouTube for people to see, and then hopefully they'll understand where we're going with this. So I'm just going to clear this off for the time being. So there we go. If you've got any questions, if there's anything that you want to ask me directly, you can message me on Facebook. Steve Lawson Online Now is my Facebook name. Or you can click on the link below the video, because I'll put a link there. In fact, I'll put all my contact details, so if you want to get in touch with me directly, you can. If you want to find out any more about this business, then there are lots of videos and stuff out there that you can check out. It is an awesome business. I use it mainly as my blogging platform. It's my main business that I run. Obviously, people that know me know that I do 1 or 2 other things. So I like to do multiple income streams, but this is very, very exciting because of the fact that they're introducing this CyberSwarm concept, and not everybody, you know, not all these other companies are doing this, and of course they're all having the same issue with only a few people at the very top making all the money, and we don't want that to happen. That's not what ILN is all about. We're much more of a community, much more of a family, and I think that's why people are kind of flooding in now and flocking to this company. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day, and until the next time, catch you later.